Alright, guys, so I very randomly decided to start singing some songs that I started writing back in 2020. So the first song I'm going to play is the one that I actually have chords for, and it's called Blind. And the song, a basic synopsis of the song, it's about not going back to something that's bad for you, not ignoring warning signs, red flags that something isn't meant for you. And basically it's just like a wake up call, being like, you're not going to be blind, you're not going to ignore something you know is not right for you. So this is how it goes. You tried to hide behind your eyes, a master of disguise, till I realized I just couldn't be blind. I'm not afraid of what you say, and I'm not listening. You can just pretend that I didn't move on. So now I gotta get away. I'm done playing these silly games. You had your chance, I'm not going back. Oh, not wasting no more time on you. My lesson, now I know the truth. I'll be alright with God by my side. I'm not gonna be blind, gonna be blind. Now I know the truth, so I'm gonna move on. I'm not gonna be blind, gonna be blind. I'm so over you, so I'm gonna move on. Oh. Okay, I just really like the chords, so I kind of was playing around on the piano, found these chords, then from those chords, I kind of made the harmony, melody, whatever. So I have the first verse down for that song, and then the other songs I've written, I don't really have chords for yet, so that's the only one that I've actually found chords that I really, really like. And another fun fact about me, in college, I took a music production class as part of my music business certificate. That's like that random thing I had because I thought it was interesting. Unfortunately for me, the music business program at UGA was more catered towards the business side than the music side, and I honestly am more passionate about the music side. However, I do think learning about the business side is something that is important for any artist, songwriter, singer who is going into the industry, because knowing more about the back end of the business helped me understand, one, why I would not want a record label, because you're basically signing your entire life away, your rights away, ownership of your music, ownership of your voice, ownership of your likeness. When I tell y'all, the music industry is so evil, honestly, learning about the music industry made me realize how evil and controlling it is. Record labels will literally sign artists will literally sign deals selling their likeness, and they don't understand that it honestly is basically selling your soul. There's no other way to sugarcoat it. But that's one of the reasons I used to think I wanted a record deal when I was younger, and after going through that program, I realized I didn't want that. Also, the one major takeaway I had from it was write your own music. If you write your own music, you will always get songwriter credits. And songwriter credits mean you always get paid for your music, regardless of if you own the rights or not. So that is one of the biggest takeaways, or I guess those are the two of the biggest takeaways from me participating in that program. However, I have not really done a lot with music since then. I used to sing on my church's worship team, and then I kind of stopped. Not for any particular reason. Well, actually, the reason was they weren't really scheduled. They stopped scheduling me. Okay, so here's the thing. I grew up singing in church from the age of like 8 till I graduated from high school. So for about fourth grade, about 8 years, fourth grade till my senior year of high school, I was on my church's worship team, and I attended a mega church. So they had a separate worship team for like elementary, middle school, and high school. So I started on the elementary worship team. And when I tell y'all, like, one thing I loved about my old church, or the church I grew up attending, was that we were able, like, the children got to lead the worship for the other children. Like, it wasn't just adult, it was literally children of the same age leading worship and dances. And so that was something that I had never experienced before. So me and my sisters, my two younger sisters, we served on the worship team, and I pretty much grew up singing, performing, and I was surrounded by very, very, very talented performers, singers, like dancers. It didn't matter. Like, the church I went to, like, had so many talented people who just went there. And so I do think for a long time, because I was surrounded by so many very, very talented people, I didn't think that I was as good, or I never felt like I was like as great of a singer as other people, because I don't really have a voice that is like soulful. I don't have like that typical gospel sounding voice. I don't do like a lot of runs and stuff. Like, I don't have like one of those voices that, you know, is more associated with like R&B singers and stuff like that. So I always felt like I wasn't as good of a singer. And I think it wasn't until high school that I feel like I started getting more compliments on my singing. So I remember my sophomore year of high school, I had auditioned for a solo, and I ended up getting it. But then my teacher, who was a hater, took my solo away without telling me. And then it was like a whole thing. It's not really a big story to go into, but so that was when I guess I realized, like, oh, I guess I'm not as bad of a singer as I thought. But you would think, like, if you grow up singing and performing when you were young, I would think I was a decent enough singer, because I'm singing with people who are really, really good, so I have to be at least decent, right? But for some reason, I just thought, like, okay, I guess I just have a voice that, like, I never got solos or anything like that. Except I did get a solo for one song. I'll do a cover of the song. It was, I run, Jesus, I run, I need you, I can't get enough of you. Run to You by Carrie Joe. So I had auditioned for that solo, and I got it. And I think the main reason is just because while I don't have like a particularly soulful sounding voice, I do have like a good tone. And so I have a good tone of voice, which is a compliment I get from just like my regular speaking voice. And there's been people who, just from me speaking, have been like, oh, do you sing? Which I guess I sound like I can sing to some to some people. But anyways, growing up, I was never super confident in my voice because I was always comparing my voice to like people who I felt were more talented, were better than me in a lot of ways. And so I didn't really have a lot of confidence. And then I also, so I did that, but I was serving like on my church's worship team and performing in front of hundreds, sometimes thousands of people on stage at my church. So I don't get stage fright because I grew up singing in front of a lot of people and performing essentially. And then we got to college, and then all throughout high school, I also was in chorus, and yeah. So college comes around, and I think college is a whole other thing. So I feel like music has always been something I've been passionate about. It's just not something that I was ever I was never confident in my own singing abilities. So I got to college, and my junior year, I joined an a cappella group. And the a cappella group I joined was not the one that I really wanted. There was a like all girls one that I had wanted to be a part of, but I auditioned, I made it to the second round, and then they said I couldn't blend. And part of honestly, it just wasn't meant to be. It's fine. But it's so funny because looking back, I remember during my audition when they were trying to check for blending, I was specifically tried to make my voice stand out. And so it's kind of funny how I kind of shot myself in the foot by being like, oh, I want to make sure they hear me and hear my tone. So I wasn't really trying to blend my voice, but like I grew up being very good at blending my voice with others. So it's kind of like ironic. But anyways, I thought it was better if I tried to stand out. But I've had a lot of rejection, I would say, with like singing. So I also I don't know if I've ever shared this story. I had auditioned for The Voice back in I want to say like 2016. So I was how old? Maybe like 19, 20. I auditioned for The Voice, went to a casting in Atlanta. I didn't make it even past that first round. And so I was just like, it was fun. I took a picture with one of the guys who I guess had been on the show. I forgot his name. But a lot of times things are just like, it's not meant to be. It's not God's time. God's timing is always perfect at the end of the day. So I'm like, there's a lot of opportunities that I thought were going to pan out for me. I mean, I don't really understand why I thought going on The Voice was going to put me on the map. But, you always think like certain opportunities are going to be the thing that gets you to where you need to be in order to have success. So for me, that was like, I had to audition for The Voice. If I make it on this show, I'll be famous. Of course, honestly, I don't really care about fame. I honestly care more about just making good music, because it's like it's an artistry thing for me. More than being about, I just want followers and I just want to be able to perform. It's like, I really want to make music that's actually good. And I think like, I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to a lot of things, but when it comes to music, I am a lot more like, sometimes I feel like it's still like my personality is not a perfectionist, but when I do eventually decide to like pursue music, or I wouldn't even say pursue music, I just want to like, there's songs that I've started writing that I just want to actually make, like, and I want them to be good songs. I want them to be songs that are good and that people enjoy. So it's not necessarily about just like, oh, I just want to make this name for myself. And I do think for me also, getting older, and also from everything I learned from my music business certificate, like when I was younger, of course, I thought, oh yeah, I want to have, all I just want to be famous and have all of these followers, whatever. But then you mature and get older and realize, those things, like, I can't imagine having like millions of followers and the pressure that puts on you as a person to like perform and be perfect and have this certain image. And I've been feeling like for a long time, like, we as humans were not meant to be like famous. Like, I feel like fame is honestly a disease. Is a disease. Like, I feel like being famous alters your brain a little bit, but also I personally truly don't think it's good for people to be famous. And so, like, I don't necessarily care to achieve like a huge following, because I feel like it just puts pressure. I feel like even with like my YouTube channel and social media, having like a certain number of followers, I feel like puts pressure on me sometimes to make like certain type of content. But I always have to like bring myself down and be like, you just have to be yourself. Like, you're not trying to, I don't want to pretend to be somebody I'm not online. And I definitely overshare a lot of things in my life. Some things that I feel like a lot of people wouldn't be comfortable sharing, but I've gotten more comfortable sharing those things, not because I want to share them, but because I just feel like it could possibly help someone. But also, it's just like, I want to be authentic as possible. And that sometimes includes sharing my not most proudest moments. Like the last video I posted, I literally was sharing how I got a DUI, which I'm laughing about it now. It's not funny. I think I need a couple more years to laugh about this, but it's just like, that's an experience I'm dealing with, going through, that I'm not proud of. It's not something that I feel like it's something that most people would be like, you don't want to talk about it. Like, you shouldn't put that on the internet type thing. And I get it. Like, I understand why people are saying like, don't share certain things. But for me, it's not about like trying to hide problems that I'm dealing with. I feel like would be me pretending to like, I don't know, be someone I'm not, in a sense, because I've never claimed to be perfect. I've never claimed to be better than. Like, I'm 28 years old and I still make a lot of mistakes and I still do a lot of things I know I shouldn't be doing and I'm better than, but we all fail in life sometimes. I shouldn't say it like that, but I just think nobody's perfect, and at the end of the day, if someone's going to judge me for not being perfect, they have the right to do so. However, I try to be open and honest about, my mistakes, my past or my current mistakes and things I'm dealing with, just because I don't want to come across as someone who just has their life completely together, because I don't, but also because I feel like that's part of my journey, is like going through the storms and going through these problems is what makes me stronger, what makes me grow, what helps me learn. And that's the best you can do, is learn from your mistakes. Now, some mistakes that you make are going to have consequences that are outside your control, and that's kind of the situation I'm in because of the DUI I got. And the details of it are, kind of like semantics, which I kind of was going. I think the video I made about it honestly was more just me like releasing a lot of the stress that I had surrounding it and being honest, because the truth is, like, talking about my problems is how I get it off my chest. And I guess I could talk about it and not share it, but I don't know why I just feel the need to share it. I don't know. Maybe that's something that I need to work on. It's like, you don't have to share everything, Jasmine, but at the same time, I'm just like, well, there's other people who could be in my situation, and maybe this can help them feel not alone. Because again, if I'm someone who's, at my big age and I'm still unfortunately going to court for, I mean, it's a serious thing. Like, I do not take for granted that driving under the influence is a very serious crime that could cause harm to myself or others. And it's just like a lot of people die because of getting in a car accident with a drunk driver. So it's just like, I know the seriousness of it. Again, watch my video story time about it if you want to know like what actually happened. But at the end of the day, it's just like I still have a lot of issues that I'm dealing with. I just got really off topic from what I was talking about. But basically, this is supposed to be the history of my music, not me getting distracted by this other thing. So anyways, my music journey, back to that. So I auditioned for The Voice, didn't get that. Auditioned for this acapella group, didn't get that. I feel like my life is full of a lot of failure and rejection. And I honestly think that does make you stronger. I think people who, if you've never been rejected or if you've never failed, you're not going to have a great story to tell at the end. Because the story of this person got everything they ever wanted anytime they tried is not as inspiring as the story of a person who failed 300,000 times and finally succeeds in life. So I'm closer to the latter. Anyways, there's a lot of things I tried out for that I didn't get. There's a lot of things that I failed at in my life that have led me to be in the current position I'm in. Anyways, so I was on an ACA. I did chorus for like a couple of semesters. It was like the all women's chorus, and that was like okay. And I think that was another time that I remember people complimenting my voice because I sang. I don't even remember what it was, why we were singing in class, but I sang that Katy Perry song Roar. I don't remember why we were singing it. I got the eye of the tiger, a fighter, laughing through I still for nothing, so I feel for anything. I don't remember why we were singing that in class though, but I had started singing it and people were like, oh my gosh, you have such a great voice. So anyways, for a long time, I was not very confident in my voice or in my singing abilities. And then I guess other people started telling me that I had a good voice. And I guess that kind of helped me start to believe in myself. But at the same time, I feel like I wasn't as confident. And then after college, graduate, y'all can watch like whatever video I talked about, like my job history that led me to being in my current situation. I have so many long chit chat videos that I'm posting on this channel now because, child, my life has just been, my life be like, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, basically my life. Anyways, after graduating from school, that was pretty much all the music stuff I did. And then also my music business certificate, I wrote a song. I did write a song. I forgot about that. So one of my projects for my music production class, I literally wrote and released a song. It's on SoundCloud. I'll link it down if you guys want to hear it. It's called, what was the name of the song? Money. It's actually a good song. I would re-record it, but the guy who produced it, obviously, he was also a student. And I just feel like the production was not what I really wanted for the song. Like, I mean, he did his best and I appreciate that, but it wasn't the sound that I hear in my head when I make music or write music was not what it was giving. But anyways, I released a song back in 2017 as part of a project in high school. That was one of my favorite things that I did though. And so that's why I know, like, I would make music for free. Like, it's not even about money. It's just something I enjoy doing because I love to sing. I love music. I've always been, come from a big musical family, except for my mom. My mom, love my mama, but she likes to sing. My mom's not a bad singer. I feel like both of my parents are like decent singers. Like, my mom used to sing in church and stuff, but my mom doesn't play any instruments. My dad, however, he was in band. He played percussion. My younger sister was also in percussion. And then, like I told y'all, me and my 2 younger sisters all grew up singing in church. So we're very musical. My mom would be a great manager because she used to pimp, like literally pimp. I should have used the word pimp, but that's like just the best way to describe it. She would pimp me and my sisters out. We would go, if we went anywhere, she'd be like, sing that song you sang in chorus for all these people. And so me and my sister would literally be outside singing a bunch of songs to people. Anyways, that is, my family is very musical, to say the least. And I used to play an instrument. I used to play clarinet. I was actually really good. And then my mom said, you can't be in band anymore, because she didn't want to hear me practicing my clarinet, which she used to say I squeaked too much. But you know what? My 8th grade year, I was about to be first chair in symphonic band. Also, I feel like I lost my ability to read music from not being in band, which is like something sad. Also, being able to read music is what helped me learn how to play piano, because I taught myself how to play piano. And I used to be able to read music because I played clarinet. And then once I stopped being in band, I lost that ability. I mean, I still play piano by ear most of the time, but I wish I could read music, because knowing how to read music, you can literally play anything, which is like a skill I used to have that I no longer have. So I can probably try to rebuild it. It's just too little too late. It's just a little too late, a little too wrong, and I can't wait. Sorry, y'all. I keep randomly singing in this video because it's actually 2:30 in the morning. Don't know if you guys care to know that, but why am I making this video? Because I don't know. I just felt like talking. Anyways, the other thing I was going to say is, I keep getting distracted. Let's go back to the topic. This video is going to be, I don't even know what I'm going to title this video. You guys, I guess we'll see it when it's posted. I don't know what I'm going to title this. But after college, that's all the musical stuff I did in college. Then I graduated from school, had like all of this job stuff issues. Then I went to cosmetology school and thought I was going to do hair and makeup. That didn't work out. And then I would say it was in 2019 when I was just like, oh, I think I want to, I joined my church at the time's worship team. And initially it was like a good experience and everything. But then after Christmas, I would say is when it kind of changed, and I just was struggling a lot in that church I don't know how else to explain it other than it's just like, I didn't feel like I fit in there. And honestly, to this day, I still haven't found like a good church home where I feel like I fit in. And maybe that's like part of the problem, is because I'm looking for a church where I fit in, and maybe that's not what God wants. Maybe God doesn't want me to fit in at the church that I attend. Maybe he wants me to stand out, and for whatever reason. But anyways, I was on this worship team for not even like, I was on it for maybe like 3 to 4 months, and then they stopped scheduling, putting me on like, basically how it worked is they would like schedule you for a weekend, you would learn the music, And what I think, this is what happened. This is the story time behind that. So I will never forget. So when that worship team that I was on, we have to have like our inner ears, which they play like the clicks and everything. That was my first experience with inner ears on a worship team, because back when I was in my mega church, whatever, we didn't have inner ears. It was all just like we had rehearsals throughout the week, and then we would sing. In this church, they did it differently. And basically they would send you, and this was also my bad. It was my bad. Like, I did not do things right. Basically, they would send you the set list and the audio, and then you had to practice. But me, being the procrastinator I've trying not to be anymore, would wait till like the day before to try to learn the music. And also because I knew they would have the lyrics up on the wall, I never tried to learn the lyrics either. So I would wait till the last minute to learn the music and then go on stage and try to perform this. If you guys can't tell, that's probably not the best idea. So I would be struggling up on the stage. I mean, I wouldn't say struggling, but I would be at rehearsal struggling. And I just remember because I would be singing songs I didn't know that well, I also did not know the melody very well. And so I would be singing like wrong. I would be singing wrong. So I'm pretty sure what happened is one day the music engineer like soloed out my voice and heard me sounding crazy on the mic because I really didn't know this song, and was like, oh, this girl can't sing and she not on tune and she off, and so maybe we're not gonna put her on the stage no more. And they didn't put me on the stage. So I forgot I had the echo on this. I like the echo, a little bit of echo. It gives like ambiance. But anyways, so that turned into them not scheduling me. And then the other thing is, and this is kind of like me just being 100% truthful, I didn't really feel like I was on the worship team, but I didn't really feel like I was on the worship team. Like, I kind of just felt like I was just there. Like, I don't know, I didn't really and this is where I feel like your feelings matter, but at the same time it's just like you can get over them. Basically, I could be in a room with like a lot of people and feel like I was completely by myself. And I remember like the worship team had like some little worship team night, and like I just remember I was there and literally no one was talking to me. And like, depending on my mood, it's hard for me. Like, I'm more extroverted in situations where there's more people that I know. So if I'm in a room and I know only 2 people, I'm not going to be as extroverted as if I'm in a room and I know at least like 5 people. So it was just really hard for me. And then I didn't really have any close friends. And I've been attending this church for about 6 months at this time. So it was just like I felt very alone all the time, even though I was a part of this quote unquote team. And so that was like the beginning of it. And then at the time I did the regular worship for like church, and I also was going to the college worship team. So that was like an additional service during the week. It was like a Wednesday, Thursday. And I think it was 2 things though. So the first thing was I got a job out of town, and that's also when I ended up moving because I got a house. Ooh, child, I'm missing a lot of things. There's a lot of things in between, but basically I ended up moving away. So I wasn't really able to participate, but they also weren't scheduling me anyway. So it kind of just was like goodbye, and no one really cared when I left. Like, no one cared. So anyways, that was when I was working at Amazon. That's when I got the house and everything. And then I moved back to where I am now, Columbus. And they basically said, I don't know. I think I just felt like, I'm sorry. I hate when I smack my tongue like that in the mic. Like, if that bothers people, I'm sorry. Anyways, I almost did it again. They told me, I came back and I just was like, I don't feel connected enough to the people here to try to like get back on the team. I also hadn't been going to that church for a minute, so it's kind of like, it would have been awkward. Be like, hey guys, I'm back. I guess I can rejoin the worship team, and I haven't been attending this church for like over a year. So I came back and I kind of just stopped doing anything with a lot of the people. But in my defense, like when I first came back, I did go back to the church, and I just remember people, I walked in and there would be people that I knew, and they pretty much acted like they didn't know me. And so after that, I was just like, okay, like the vibes, it just wasn't like a good feeling. And so ever since then, I've kind of been trying to like find another church that I feel I enjoy. And so far, like my friend's church I've gone to, because I volunteer with her in the nursery, and I was like, so far I like her church. I've been enjoying her church, but I haven't found like another church where I want to like get involved again. But I would love to like be on a worship team again. I just haven't really felt led or called to any specific one. So yeah, I think that was all I was gonna say. Basically, like the last time I was singing was when I was on a worship team, and then since I stopped singing in that worship team in 2021, so yeah, since then I haven't really had a lot of done a lot of singing. And I keep saying like I want to do covers and stuff, on my YouTube channel. It's just like I am not the best at audio editing. So like I said, I took that music production class, and tell me why they had us on Pro Tools. If you are someone who's knows anything about music, Pro Tools is like it's the professional like music audio whatever that they use. It's like a $2,000 program that you could only use on Mac. So you have to have like, I think the program itself is like $1,000, and then you have to also have a Mac computer to use it. So it's like, I don't have $2,000 to learn how to do this thing. So anyways, I was learning Pro Tools in my music production class, but being like a novice and knowing nothing about anything, it was just like, it was a hard class. However, I knew like a little bit of things. So I just don't feel like I don't have like the music production skills that I can make like covers the way I want to. Like I can't edit my voice over music. I mean, maybe I should at least try just to see, but I mean, I do have this microphone now, which is pretty good quality. So I've been recording, tonight, I should say, I recorded some covers on my TikTok, so you guys can see those. But I do want to try to sing a little bit more, because it's something I enjoy. Again, it's not like I don't care about singing just because I want to be like a famous singer or something. It's just like something I genuinely enjoy doing. So I'll try to make more singing videos. But I've been saying that and then I haven't done it. So it's like, y'all gotta help hold me accountable, because I be saying a lot of stuff. I mean, eventually I will do it, but see, this is why I can't be a procrastinator, because procrastinators will do things eventually. It's just like the last minute. But when's the last minute to make singing videos? I don't know. Anyways, that's pretty much it for my musical history, how I ended up here. Anyways, like I said, it is my goal to release my like original songs at some point in my lifetime. I hope and pray. Hopefully sooner rather than later, because I feel like I know there's not a time limit on when you can accomplish anything in life. Like, there's a lot of amazing singers who didn't get their fame till like in their 30s and 40s. So it's just like, and I know it's not like too late for me. I do think though that when I was younger, there was like a lot of pressure for me to be famous or make music when I'm young, because once you're old, it's like over. But I just think at the end of the day, God's timing is always perfect. So again, who knows where I'll be a year from now, because I certainly don't. I've changed careers at least 3 times in the past year. So actually, I changed careers 3 times last year. Yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much it for my musical history. Moving forward, like I said, I still haven't really decided like if I'm going to focus on music. I just know I want to make more singing, do more musical stuff, just because it's something I enjoy, and I feel like that is a better hobby for me to put energy into than shopping. So from now on, I will be making singing videos instead of shopping hauls, but my singing videos are going to be posted on it's my main channel originally. Like my OG YouTube is the Jasmine Alexis YouTube channel. However, this channel, Just Jasmine, has surpassed that one in followers. So I'm like, is this my main channel now? But yeah, technically this channel honestly is so crazy that I even got the subscribers I've gotten on this channel, because this was like, no one was ever even supposed to find this channel. This was like my most random YouTube videos that I could make channel, and I was just like, I don't want to waste all this footage behind the scenes of my vlog, so I'll just put them on this channel. And then it's grown into what it is. This is my first channel that's gotten monetized on YouTube and a bunch of other things, and that's why I feel better. I feel like because on this channel I show like my most authentic self, that's why I want to stay true to being as authentic as possible, obviously within reason. Like, I'm not gonna share everything, like all my personal details or information. That would be crazy, but I try to share things that I either think will help or encourage other people. So yeah, that's part of my journey. This is all part of my life, I guess God's plan. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So yeah, expect to see some music videos, covers on my second channel. I do want to focus more on like worship music. Like, I shouldn't say I don't have a problem with secular music. I just don't really feel like I enjoy singing secular music as much, because I grew up singing gospel music or worship music, and so that's always the music that I'm going to enjoy singing the most. I also just feel like worship music has such deeper meanings to it than a lot of secular music, so that's another reason why I prefer worship music. But there are some secular songs or artists that I like. Tori Kelly is one of them. Miss JoJo is another one. But mostly I want to do like more worship covers. Also, I kind of decided that if I do make music, I want to make music that glorifies God, because I feel like there's enough people making music, like secular artists. Like there's so many people who are trying to make it for the world or in the world, and I just feel like that's not my focus as a Christian. Like I honestly, because everything that we've learned about the music industry, I'm like, I would never want to be a secular artist. But at the end of the day, too, it's also just like there's a lot more, there's so many people fighting to make it in the world and in the music industry. And I feel like when God's giving you a gift, you should use it to glorify Him. And I would rather glorify God with my talent and with my voice than glorify the world. So that's the other reason I would rather do worship music. So yeah, that's my story. Goodbye.